Times are strange, here I come, but I ain't the same. Mama, I'm coming home. Time's gone by, it seems to be, you could have been a better friend to me. Mama, I'm coming home. You took me in and you drove me out, yeah, you had me hypnotized, yeah. Lost and found and turned around by the fire in your eyes. You made me cry, you told me lies,
Well, I don't know what will happen now. We've got some difficult days ahead. But it really doesn't matter with me now because I've been to the mountaintop. I don't mind. Like anybody, I would like to live a long life. Longevity has its place. But I'm not concerned about that now. I just want to do God's will. And He's allowed me to go up to the mountain. And I've looked over and I've seen the promised land. I may not get there with you, but I want you to know tonight that we as a people will get to the promised land. So I'm happy tonight. I'm not worried about anything. I'm not fearing any man. Mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord.
Forgot how to be a producer over here. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode. This is the Sports Cave. It's me, your host, Robbie here. Not too much to go over with sports. Honestly, it's going to be a little bit of a shorter episode. No offense. Thank God. It is hard to talk for over an hour and a half continuously. Okay. But we're going to get into some NFL today. We're going to get into some MLB, and we're going to preview the first UFC fight card of 2026 and of Paramount. Welcome everybody to the stream. I see we got Frank in here. Dad's always in here. And I believe this is Cooks, Kate Cooks. Welcome everybody. Welcome to the stream. What a weekend. What a weekend. And I've been on the fence between baseball and NFL where I was going to start off. And it all depends on how the NFL played out this weekend. And boy, did it play out. We're going to recap all the games. We're going to talk about the new coaches and their new locations. We're going to talk about coaches getting fired. I mean, the firing spree still hasn't finished yet. So without further ado, let's get right into some NFL talk here. All right. Well, divisional weekend has finished, and now we are heading into the conference championship games this upcoming weekend. And folks, it's like what I said before the season began. The season's going to come, and it's going to go very, very quickly. And boy, has it ever. All right. Leading off Saturday, this is going to be very, very intriguing. I want to hear what you guys have to say in the comments as we go through this game, and it's only right that this is the game that we lead off with. There's no other game this weekend that you can lead off with. This is the one for a multitude of reasons. Mile High City, Denver, Colorado. The Denver Broncos hosting the Buffalo Bills. The Broncos 8-1, nearly undefeated at home this year, hosting the Buffalo Bills. We can get into so much of this game. We could start in 25 different directions if we really wanted to. Why don't we start with the outcome first? 33-30, a very upsetting win if you are a Bills fan, because this felt like it was their year. This felt like it was the year where Josh Allen was going to finally get the Lombardi trophy. Bengals out, with the Ravens out, it felt like no one stood in their way. With their impressive win on the road in Jacksonville, it felt like no one was going to get in their way. The only people that were in the way of Buffalo, of the Bills, was the Bills. Until the game started, going through in the fourth quarter. Ladies and gentlemen, let's just call it as it is. that game, in a lot of people's minds, including my own, felt very, very scripted. The people that tried to defend that the integrity of sports and there's no way that anything can be scripted, you're going to start running out. You're going to start running out of excuses or reasonings for your thoughts on why games aren't scripted. Ladies and gentlemen, let me be completely clear. Brandon Cooks is at the tail end of his career. There's no doubt about it. But Brandon Cooks 100% caught this ball. He has possession. He has a hand above and below the football. Meanwhile, the defender has his arm inside. As we continue to go through the play, he still has possession. His knee hits. He still has possession. He had possession all the way to the time where his knee came down. Full possession. And even then, right there, as he's lying on his fucking back, he has possession of the fucking football. And then the defender takes it away at that very moment. After his knee made contact right here, after he's on his fucking back, and once the defender flips over, he finally takes the ball. I don't have to go through the whole sequence here because everybody's seen it. You've seen it on social media. You're talking about it with your friends at work today. You're talking with your group chats on Sunday and Saturday. That was a completed catch. And that changed the whole totality of that football game. Did they go into overtime? Yes, but it could have been avoided. Those two pass interference calls in overtime for the Bills that gave up close to 50 yards and set the Broncos up for the easy field goal for the win. Tre'Davious White's PI is a little more like, okay, I can give you that. Whoever the fine gentleman was before him that got called for pass interference, that was a dreadful call. That was fucking terrible. Ladies and gentlemen, the only thing that I could think of is the Bills were down 20-10 at half. And I guarantee you, everybody will open their Fanatics sportsbook accounts, their FanDuel sportsbook accounts, their DraftKings sportsbook accounts, and they were hammering Bills money line. And Vegas made the call. Did you know, I believe the head crew chief of that game in playoff games for Josh Allen, he is 5-0, and now it's 5-1. Coincidental? I think not. It's disgusting that we have to think this way because here we are many years later, and the fucking officials still can't figure out what a catch is. Calvin Johnson's, that was a catch. Des Bryant, that was a catch. They can't figure it out. Brandon Cooks needs to be added to that list of how is this not a catch? The NFL needs to make a very important decision here. Because at this point, they don't know what a catch is. And honestly, listening to Gene Steratore try to stand up for that call, saying that that ball was in fact an interception, it shows why you're in the booth and you're not on the field anymore. Not for nothing neither. When they bring these ref analysts in, does anybody really think that their opinion is right? They're trying to defend their committee. Referees, umpires, line judges, whatever umpiring official that they are, they always defend each other. They never send criticism upon one another. Never. I feel so fucking bad as a Patriots fan. I feel so fucking bad for the Bills and their fans. And to see Josh Allen crying, I mean, normally when people are crying, you know, I'm laughing at them. I'm calling them a bunch of pussies. But how could you not feel for them? Here's Josh Allen. In case you haven't seen this yet, here's Josh Allen breaking down the podium.
hard is it to just get here again and have this happen?
It's extremely difficult. I feel like I let my teammates down tonight.
It's sad, man. It's sad. And then later on, here's Deion Dawkins when he got the news that Josh Allen said that he felt he let all of his teammates down.
He feels like he let you guys down. How do you react when your quarterback who's done so much for you says that to you guys?
He let us down.
He feels like.
If you've seen the video of them going back to the locker room, you see Joey Bosa slamming his helmet against the wall in a 1-year contract. We'll see what Joey Bosa does at the end of the season. I think part of the reason why they're also so emotional is because as I go along with this morning, earlier on, the Bills fired Sean McDermott after 9 seasons. And this is the last press conference that Sean McDermott had for the Buffalo Bills. And it's worth a listen.
And it's hard for me to, and I've had a chance to look at, it's hard for me to understand why it was ruled the way it was ruled. And if it is ruled that way, then why wasn't it slowed down just to make sure that we have this right? That would have made a lot of sense to me, to make sure that we have this thing right, because that's a pivotal play in the game where we have the ball at the 20, maybe kicking a game-winning field goal right there. So I'll just leave it at that. Right. But I'm saying it because I'm standing up for Buffalo, damn it. I'm standing up for us.
John,
what went on is not how it should go down, in my estimation. That play, these guys spent 3 hours out there playing football, pouring their guts out, to not even say, hey, let's just slow this thing down. That's why I'm bothered.
You're right. Down by contact?
In my eyes, it was. Yes, in my eyes, it was. But even
And he's right. Here's what I'm going to say about them firing Sean McDermott. I think it's a few seasons overdue. When he should have been fired was when there was 13 seconds left in the fourth quarter and they allowed the Chiefs to get into field goal range. That's when he should have been fired. He made a terrible decision going into halftime, trying to make something happen while they were down by 7. Instead, just taking the knee and going into half, and then the Broncos kick the field goal. Early on this year, in that freaking monsoon game in the winter against the Philadelphia Eagles, where Jalen Hurts had 0 passing yards in the entire second half, instead of going into overtime and potentially getting a win or a tie under those conditions, they elected to go for 2. Josh Allen missed the throw. They end up not being the number 1 seed of the division, which was very costly. There's a lot of unnecessary risks in game management decisions that Sean McDermott led to this decision. And I think it's the right one. As you're going into your new stadium, you can't have the same shit happening at the old stadium and bring that into the new one. It's got to be freshly new. You got to start over completely from a coaching standpoint. You have to. It just wasn't working out. He had 9 seasons to get something done, and he didn't get anything done. Folks, if it was easy enough, for the Baltimore Ravens to move on from John Harbaugh, if it was easy enough for Mike Tomlin to step down as coach for the Steelers before they could potentially fire him, this was a no-brainer. And it also comes in a shitty situation too, because here's the problem. Now, as all of these head coaches are getting signed, you just don't know. The season isn't over yet. There was a chance that Matt LaFleur could have seen his way out of Green Bay. I don't know if Kyle Shanahan is going to be this, I don't know how much leeway he's going to get until he's on the block, until he's on the hot seat in San Francisco. But Sean McDermott being fired, who wouldn't want to take that job with Josh Allen as your quarterback? That's all you got to look at right there. Forget the rest of the roster. The rest of the roster, is it good? Not really. You got a great running back in James Cook. You have a top 3 quarterback guaranteed in Josh Allen. That's just enough to say, I'll take the job. I got Josh fucking Allen. Okay. So I'm glad I pulled up this clip here. So last thing. So watching that game with some of my boys on the Xbox party, I said at some point this game, we'll see Riley Moss get a defensive pass interference because he's always due for one per game. So those 2 PI calls that were called in overtime, this was missed in the end zone. You be the judge. Now, is the ball a little bit out of Brandon Cook's reach? Yes, it is. However, is he not yanking on his arm? Is that not a defensive pass interference? Have we not seen less maliciousness get called for pass interference? I'm sure we have. It just feels fixed, boys. It just feels fixed. Okay, so now with the, by the way, in 9 seasons with the Bills, Sean McDermott went 98-50. Kudos to him. Honestly, if it wasn't for him, Buffalo wouldn't be on the map for the NFL. Buffalo was always just kind of a laughing stock in the division. He turned them around. They won multiple division titles in the AFC East. They've made it to an AFC championship game, but at the end of the day, when you have someone with the talent of Josh Allen, you can't win the Super Bowl. It's your time to go. I don't know if he's going to get a coaching job this year. He might sit a year out. He might get like the Mike McCarthy treatment where he sits a year or two out and then all of a sudden he gets hired. Okay, that doesn't mean shit. Okay, so with that vacancy open, what's been crazy is before this season started, I said, I didn't put it on the air here in the sports game, but I told some of my boys, I said, there is one person I think that should take this job. There is one guy that Buffalo should call and take him back, this time as a head coach. Ladies and gentlemen, the Buffalo Bills should hire Brian Daboll as their head coach. Let's be honest here, guys. Is Brian Daboll a top 10 coach? I don't know. But what I can tell you is in a football year where the New York Giants were supposed to be bottom feeders and tanking for the right quarterback, he managed to go where it was 9-7 or 9-8 with Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley and get a playoff win on the road in Minnesota. And from there, injuries derailed the team. Daniel Jones with the season-ending injury, Saquon with the torn ACL, and then this upcoming season, Scatterboo with the torn Achilles, Malik Neighbors with the torn ACL. And things were trending in the right direction when they had a big Thursday night win game at home against the Philadelphia Eagles, and it's injury and after injury and after injury and after injury. And the one thing that we remember about Brian Daboll before he became the head coach of the New York Giants was how he was able to develop Josh Allen as the offensive coordinator in Buffalo. Josh Allen, when they made the playoffs and they faced off against the Houston Texans in 2019, you know he had the arm. You know he had the ability to run. But the one thing that was always in question was his accuracy. And it was absolutely dreadful. I think he finished that year at like 58% completed percentage. Brian Daboll comes in and it gets into the mid-60s. You want someone that Josh Allen is going to be comfortable with or get better with. And if you bring in Brian Daboll, I think we're going to see that offense take a big step forward. You don't need to worry about your defense. You need your offense. You need your offense. That's the only person I can think of that fits well in Buffalo. Because officially official as of last week, even though it was like official, but it wasn't officially official, it's officially official. John Harbaugh gets a 5-year, $100 million contract with the New York Giants. Now, I went over the list. I think it was my first episode back. And the Giants were number 2 ranked for the best job for a head coach outside the Baltimore Ravens, which obviously, you know, what happened there happened there. They're right. Jackson Dart looks really good. Scatterboo looked good before the torn Achilles. And even then, Tyrone Tracy is a solid running back, very serviceable. Malik Neighbors, we'll see how he comes back from the torn ACL. I don't think Wan'Dale Robinson is a free agent, but whether he is or not, Darius Slayton started turning up a little bit. And look, their defense, man. Kayvon Thibodeau, Dexter Lawrence, Abdul Carter, Brian Burns. Like, this team has a lot of names. All they need is some accountability. And when you bring in someone like John Harbaugh, we know how Jim and John are. They are some of the best coaches in football. I think with the right drafting moves this year for the Giants, whether it's improving the secondary, they keep trying to improve the offensive line. This has been going on since Eli was the quarterback. We'll see if he can manage to do that. But the thing that matters the most is what version will you get out of Jackson Dart? Let's not forget, Lamar Jackson is a former MVP, two-time MVP, if I'm not mistaken. Lamar Jackson was the last pick in the first round. The only person that believed in Lamar was John Harbaugh. 31 other teams had the opportunity to get him. John Harbaugh wanted him, and he got him. And look what happened. This guy is a great coach. And if you've ever seen some of the videos of him hyping up his players, like, he's got his players back until you basically stab him in the back. Tyler Loop, a rookie, misses the important field goal that knocked the Ravens out of the playoffs. John Harbaugh went right up to him and tell him, it's all right. You're going to get him next year. And he probably will. I think it's a great sign for the New York Giants. Well, speaking of signings, Kevin Stefanski found his home. Kevin Stefanski is going to the Atlanta Falcons. What a fucking match in heaven if you're a Falcons fan. Let's be honest, as I take a sip of my water really quick because, we're 20 minutes into the show. I'm parched. Essentia Water, whenever you want to sponsor me, let me know. Your water's gas. Thank you. When the Falcons signed Raheem Morris as the head coach, you knew it just wasn't going to work, bro. You just knew it wasn't going to work. Raheem Morris is not an NFL head coach, man. He is not. That fucking offense is stacked. Stacked. And then outside of Bijan, and then when Drake London's not playing because his hamstrings bother him, they look like a bag of shit under Raheem Morris as the head coach. It won't be like that with Kevin Stefanski. Kevin Stefanski is a two-time Coach of the Year award winner. Atlanta, y'all should be happy as hell that you pulled in this son of a bitch. Good things are coming for the Falcons' way next year. Good things are coming. Right now, I'm just going to call it as it is, January 19th, 2026. I don't give a fuck what offseason moves they make. I guarantee you the Atlanta Falcons will be winning the South next year. They will be beating out the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I don't know why Todd Bowles is still the coach over there. They will beat out the young and upcoming Carolina Panthers because I believe in Kirk Cousins or Michael Penix. When you have a great head coach in Kevin Stefanski, when you have Drake London and Bijan Robinson, you are going to be A-okay next year in Atlanta. They will win the division next year. A great signing by the Falcons. Speaking of signings, I want to get everybody's thoughts here in the comments that's currently here right now. Drop your comments down below. Matt LaFleur gets a contract extension with the Green Bay Packers. Matt LaFleur was heading into his final year starting next season, and the Packers didn't waste any time giving him a contract extension, I believe, up to 5 years. I think Matt LaFleur is a good coach. I do. But at some point, when does it... Hey, Matt LaFleur together. There's moments where we look at Jordan Love in the season and we'll be like, wow, like Jordan Love is a dog. He is top 10 quarterback. And if he could continue to elevate his game, he could be top 5. And then like as soon as we talk about that, then he fades down below. And then he's back up on the train and back down below. It's a roller coaster, man. You don't know what you're going to get out of Jordan Love. And that will take reflection onto the head coach. Green Bay kind of feels stuck, don't they? Green Bay for years, for Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers, and Bart Starr, and you're thinking maybe Jordan Love can do, but I don't even know Jordan Love is the second best quarterback in that division. I still like Jared Goff, and Caleb Williams was impressive. We'll get into Caleb Williams a little bit later on. I don't get the signing, or the extension rather, of Matt LaFleur. I would have let it play out the one more year before I would have gave him a contract extension. All right. Dolphins hire Packers defensive coordinator Jeff Hafley. I think this is absolutely stupid. It makes no sense. If this was... Now, they said Troy Aikman had a lot of influence into their decision for their next head coach. I don't think Troy Aikman had anything to do with this. If I'm not mistaken, they brought in a new GM or president of operations or whatever, and he came from the Green Bay Packers. Yeah, that doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense to me. I have no comments further on that. I guess we have to wait till the season plays off, because you have Jalen Waddle, you have Devon Achane, and you hire a defensive coordinator as your head coach. Good job. Miami's back to its old ways. Oregon quarterback Dante Moore will not go into the draft and is going to stay another season at Oregon. Now, a lot of people have watched Dante Moore that are big college football fans. Like you know me, I'm not a big college football fan. Outside the UConn Huskies, obviously. What I did see was a lot of people said that they didn't think he was ready for the NFL, number one. Number two, he wasn't basically the lock for number one. He was probably going to end up going to the Jets. And I think he knew that. And he's like, yeah, I don't want to go there. It's got to fucking suck being a Jets fan, man, because they're definitely not going to draft a quarterback in this draft. You'd be wasting a pick at that point. If I'm the Jets, I think you try to go with one of these failed quarterbacks that we got to see play this year, and they seemed solid. So whether that's a Malik Willis, if it's a Mac Jones, I think that's the direction the Jets go in, because obviously he wasn't going to work with Justin Fields. Why not see what you got for 1 year with them until next year's draft? And if Dante Moore elevates his game and he looks better and he looks more ready for the NFL, if you have the number one pick, then you can take him. But I don't blame him one bit for going back to Oregon. All right. I went through all the news before I went through all the games. So let me just finish it up with the games here. Last thing here. Bo Nix fractures his ankle on the final kneel down. Apparently, it's one of the two plays. It's either the play where he ran towards the sideline and dropped down, or it's the kneel down. I think it was the kneel down. And he fractures his ankle, be out for the remainder of the playoffs. That fucking sucks. That fucking sucks, dude. 14-3 this year. He was good. He was good at the quarterback position this year. He battled with Josh Allen, and for it to end that way, that fucking sucks. So Jarrett Stidham will be taking on the New England Patriots next week, and I'll break down the Patriots game in a second. Let's get to the other Saturday game. I think I'm going to spend a whopping 23 seconds on this game. Seahawks win 41-6. Sam Darnold, who was dealing with what the fuck was Darnold dealing with, boys in the chat? What injury was he dealing with? I should have wrote this down. I fucking forget. God damn it. Yeah, he was dealing with an injury, and they said he wasn't throwing from Thursday all the way to game day, and Drew Lock was taking a lot of the reps as the QB1. He ended up playing, and he really didn't need to throw much. Only 17 attempts for 124 yards and a tutty. Kenneth Walker did his thing, 19 carries for 116 yards and 3 touchdowns. On the San Francisco side, a whole bunch of nothing. They stopped Christian McCaffrey, and when you stop Christian McCaffrey, there was no one else that could help. Ricky Pearsall, ineffective. Juwan Jennings, ineffective. They had nothing going for them for the San Francisco 49ers. Oblique. Thank you, Dylan. Oblique. Thank you, Kyle. Oblique. Thank you. I think you guys are right on that. The Niners were doomed, man. I mean, this theory that they have of this fucking power plant that's next to the stadium that can affect the athletes and their soft tissues. I mean, when you're losing all your star players, there's Frank. Sorry, Frank. My bad. Read that shit wrong. They got to investigate that if you're the NFL. Like, honestly, you should be investigating that immediately the second this whole theory came out onto Twitter. Because we look at the Niners every year and it's like, who is the most injured team off the top of your head that's losing starts? The fucking 49ers. Whether it's McCaffrey, it's Kittle every fucking year that's always dealing with the nagging hamstring. It's always a wide receiver. It was Brandon Ayuk. This year, Pearsall was dealing with injuries. Juwan Jennings was dealing with injuries. Brock Purdy was dealing with injuries. Nick Bosa tore his ACL for the second time in his career. Fred Warner's dealing with injuries. It's a problem. It is a problem. And the worst thing that happens out of this too, it's gonna fucking when all's said and done, when Fred Warner's done, when Bosa's done, when a lot of these players at the end of their careers, all these free agents are gonna look at the destination of the 49ers and be like, well, this theory here of this plant that's next to the stadium that's causing a lot of injuries because of the atmosphere and whatever they're producing out of their building, affect the soft tissue. I don't want to deal with injuries, have my career cut short. It could happen. Could you see that can happen anywhere? Yeah, it can happen at MetLife with the turf, but no one wants to go play for the fucking Jets. And if you're dealing with the Giants, you want to go play there now, but that's a risk you're willing to take with John Harbaugh as your coach. But for the Niners perspective, dude, like, why are they ignoring this? Why hasn't the Niners or the NFL made a statement about this? If you haven't seen it, I could do a quick recap if you're hearing about this for the first time. Very quick recap here, so bear with me, please. I got to scroll down a little bit. And the other thing, while I'm scrolling so I don't leave a bunch of dead air, at what point do they look at Kyle Shanahan and say, enough's enough, and we got to move on from this guy? Is Kyle Shanahan a good coach? No, he's a great coach. But the problem with Kyle Shanahan is when the Niners are down in the fourth quarter, they're essentially done with. There's no coming back. The other problem is his career, he's been nothing but a choke artist. A choke artist. All right, here we go. So, Peter Cohen, low frequency electromagnetic fields can be degrade collagen, weaken tendons, and cause soft tissue damage at level regulators call quote-unquote safe. We have a real-world case study proving this, an NFL team whose practice facility is next to a massive electrical substation. And that would be the San Francisco 49ers. So, if you want a good read on it, follow living_energy on Twitter, and he will enlighten you about what's going on over there in San Francisco. All right. On to the Sunday games. So, Patriots and Texans. Sloppy game. Weather was shitty. Snow and rain everywhere. Cold temperatures. But, folks, the Patriots prevail, and they end up winning this game 28-16 as the Texans had 5 turnovers. C.J. Stroud threw for 4 interceptions, a QBR of 21.1. No Nico Collins. Dalton Schultz gets hurt shortly after making a big play for 42 yards, and they just couldn't get anything going from there. On the Patriots side, Ramondre Stevenson ran the ball efficiently. Drake May had an interception. I believe he had 4 fumbles. 2 of them were lost. He's lucky. Very, very lucky. For the Patriots side, interceptions were made by Carlton Davis, 2 of them, Craig Woodson, and Marcus Jones, who returned 1 for a touchdown. All right. So to recap this game here, C.J. Stroud, I think that they really need to think about going for a quarterback competition next year between him and Davis Mills. I mean, Davis Mills went 3-0 when Stroud was out. The Texans ended up winning 10 straight games, and most of it was because of their defense. It was because of C.J. Stroud. C.J. Stroud had a great rookie year. It looked promising. He looked like the future of the Houston Texans. But once again, I'm going to go back to my saying I say every single year, boys. Name me the most recent successful NFL quarterback that played for the Ohio State. And don't give me Joe Burrow because he didn't play for Ohio State like he did for LSU. Don't even give me that shit. Terrell Pryor and JT Barrett transitioned over into wide receiver because they couldn't fucking cut it. You tell me the last time you've seen a successful quarterback out of the Ohio State. At least in my lifetime, I haven't. Maybe Will Howard gets a shot for the Steelers next year. I doubt it. Maybe Kyle McCord. Maybe if he somehow finds a roster and gets a starting job. Doubt it. They don't come out of Ohio State successful. It just does not happen. As Dylan puts here, CJ Stroud has gotten worse every year. It's true. It's true. Now, as he played bad, this is the part that pisses me off. Could we give the Patriots defense some credit, dude? They were disguising the blitz so well. And then when they did hit him with the blitz, he was hurried and he did make the right throws in the right plays. And he was getting hit at the line. Balls were getting tipped. The Patriots defense has played good in these 2 games. While Drake May has not looked like MVP Drake May, the Patriots are winning games because of this defense. When you have Christian Gonzalez out there, it is a huge difference maker to play in man with your linebackers playing in a zone formation while the corners are playing man, the safeties are helping on the deep ball. When he is not there, you're in trouble because Carlton Davis is getting a ton of pass interferences. This Patriots team, are they Super Bowl bound? A lot of people say yes. What I'm going to sit here and tell you is I'm not going to get too comfortable. And it's basically because of Nick Foles. You just never know. This could be the game where Jarrett Stidham just throws for 350 passing yards against our defense and we lose in a nail biter. I'm not going to sit here and be complacent and say, yeah, we're definitely going to the Super Bowl. What I will tell you, though, is I feel very optimistic. I like our chances for obvious reasons, but this is the NFL. Anything can happen. Shit ton of people could throw their money on New England like they did Buffalo, and Vegas is going to say, take their money. It's Denver's game. It's their Super Bowl. You just never know. So I'm not going to get complacent here. All right. This was a fucking battle last night. The Chicago Bears hosted the Los Angeles Rams in an absolute slugfest in terms of defense. These guys were fighting. They were fucking fighting out there, man. And the Los Angeles Rams come out victorious. Give me 1 second as I parch myself with some water. What's with Sean McVay's fucking fantasies about running toss plays on like 3rd and short, 2nd and short, instead of just running it up the middle or throwing it to Nakua and let him do his thing? I don't get it. Matty D. How you doing? I thought the Bears were going to win this game. I really did. When they went into overtime and Caleb Williams was driving down the field, I thought they were going to win that game. But the mistake happened where DJ Moore stopped running his route. Rams intercept it. They get all the way down the field, and they kick the 42-yard for the win. The other thing I have a question for is Ben Johnson. It is single-digit temperatures with the wind. With the team from the West Coast where it's sunny and 60 or 70 or 80 almost on a weekly basis. They are all freezing their balls off. Their nipples are so hard they could cut diamonds. It is that fucking cold. And instead of calling the timeout for the extra 30 seconds to make that kicker's foot feel a little more stiff, you let it play out when you had 3 timeouts left. That was such a bad decision by Ben Johnson. He should have used that timeout. However, the Bears were very lucky. When Caleb Williams made that throw where he retracted 30-plus yards to the 40-yard line off of his back foot into the back left corner of the end zone to Cole Kmet for the touchdown, that was fucking insane. Now, here we are a day later, and this always happens. Well, the Bears should have thought about going for 2. No, they should not have. Not at all. Matthew Stafford was having a hard time. I think his finger is pretty fucked up from when he hit. I think it was his own teammate's helmet on a throw, and you could see it. You could see he was having trouble throwing the football. They did the right thing. They did the right thing by kicking the PAT and sending it to overtime. The 2-point conversion would have been the wrong decision. Even if it was successful, I would have came on the show today and said, gutsy call, they're lucky it paid off. It was the right call to go for the PAT. Caleb Williams, folks. Caleb Williams is going to win the Super Bowl. That guy may like to paint his fingernails, but he is going to win the Super Bowl. He is good, man. I mean, the only thing that's setting him apart from being a top 10 quarterback, top 5 quarterback is his accuracy And that could be worked on very easily. He is very smart. He knows when to evade the pocket and go scramble, and he's fast. He ain't slow neither. He's pretty fucking fast. A lot of people quit on him after his rookie year. Wrongfully so. Not everybody's going to come into the NFL looking like fucking Joe Burrow in the rookie year or Lamar Jackson in their rookie year or Andrew Luck his rookie year. I like what I seen out of Caleb Williams. So much so, I could sit here today and tell you he's the best quarterback in the NFC North. The Bears got their quarterback. I think so. And that interception that he threw wasn't his fault. DJ Moore, stop running the route. It is what it is. Shit happens. But the Bears, hell of a season. We'll see him in the playoffs again next year, barring any injuries, for sure. Folks, that does it for our NFL talk. So, we got UFC, we got MLB, but while I got Dylan here, while I got Maddie D here, let's fucking talk about it. Disgusting. Absolutely fucking disgusting. Embarrassing. Pussy. Kyle Tucker. 4-year, $240 million contract with the Los Angeles Dodgers. Guys. Oh, well, I guess we have a little bit of breaking news before I get into this.
Oh my God! Okay, it's happening.
Give me what I want.
With Matt Nagy out as the offensive coordinator, the Kansas City Chiefs are bringing back longtime offensive coordinator Eric Bieniemy as their offensive coordinator. The Chiefs' offense, if we could be honest here, folks, has not looked the same since he's left. With Matt Nagy taking charge with Bieniemy, we will see if they get back to their old Kansas City Chiefs form, and we'll see maybe if this gets another year out of Travis Kelce, although I doubt it. So the breaking news is Eric Bieniemy going back as the offensive coordinator for the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, things like this I will break. Like the Falcons, I guess, are bringing back Jeff Ulbrich as their defensive coordinator to Stefanski. Like, who cares? Because there's a history behind Bieniemy as the offensive coordinator in Kansas City. Multiple Super Bowls. I will talk about that. If we're going to fucking have something like the Jets are bringing fucking Rex Ryan as defensive coordinator instead of head coach, I mean, that would actually get news. So who the fuck am I talking there? I don't know. You get the point here. Certain teams with history, I will break down the coordinators. Like, I'm getting updates from Adam Schefter all the time about this coordinator's going for an interview for this coordinating job and the Chargers. I don't give a fuck. No one cares. Eric Bieniemy, people talk about that. So I'll talk about that. Great rehire. Great rehire. Back to Kyle Tucker, folks. I get it. It's $60 million a year. Like, it's easier said than done to turn that down. And again, you can't blame the Dodgers if they're working the system the right way. But dude, just like the fucking Dodgers lineup, dude, is just absolutely fucking nuts. It's not fair. It's not fucking fair. What the hell? Like, I think Dylan said it. What for the All-Star game this year? Just do the AL and the NL versus the Dodgers. Let's see who wins. My money's on the fucking Dodgers. Their lineup right now. Well, let's go with their fielding, and you can figure out the lineup when it comes that time. In the outfield, you're gonna have Teoscar Hernandez, Andy Pages, Kyle Tucker. In the infield, you're gonna have Max Muncy, Mookie Betts, Tommy Edman, Freddie Freeman, Will Smith, Ohtani. Oh, and by the way, you still have Blake Snell, Tyler Glasnow, Yoshi Yamamoto, Roki Sasaki, if he figures it out. Your bullpen is fucking loaded. And by the way, you brought in Edwin Diaz too. Who's going to stop them? Who's stopping the Dodgers? Now, here's the other thing that's really annoying. The amount of people that are saying, well, this is what the Yankees did when you were growing up. This is what they did in the night. No, they didn't. And I'm not talking about this Dodger thing as a Yankee fan, like, there really goes our chance of winning the World Series. We were never going to go to the World Series this year in the first place. They haven't made a fucking move in the first place, number one. Number two, Even if they do bring back Cody Bellinger, they're not going to the World Series. I don't have any hope for this fucking Yankee team going into this year. I'm just waiting until we get Paul Skeens, and then I'll have some hope whenever that time comes. Whether it's this year, next year. Until then, this isn't about being a Yankee fan and watching this. It's not even close, bro. In the 90s, the Yankees trade 16 top 100 prospects away during that time were built around a core of 5 homegrown megastars: Jeter, Posada, Mariano, Pettit, and Williams. In trades, they acquired Jim Abbott, David Contino, Jeff Nelson, Cecil Fielder, David Weathers, Jim Leyritz, Chuck Knobloch, David Justice. Free agent signings to bring Kenny Rogers, Mariano Duncan, Dwight Gooden had been out for a year with a drug suspension, so that was a big gamble, as well as Darryl Strawberry, who was on our bench, Wade Boggs, David Wells, and El Duque. The Dodgers, the homegrown talent they have on the roster, Will Smith, panned out well. He's great. Andy Pajes. Their free agent signings are fucking everybody. It's not the same. It's not the fucking same. And the reason why it frustrates me so much is because Kyle Tucker, what he has done by signing this contract, we are getting an MLB lockout. If it wasn't official before, which it kind of felt like it was, this was the dagger. This was Kyrie hitting the game-winning 3 over Steph Curry. This was the dagger. This was Tom Brady's throw to Julian Edelman against the Seahawks in the Super Bowl with Malcolm Butler intercepting the goal line. It's the dagger, bro. And it pisses me off because baseball is my number one. I love baseball. Do I blame the Dodgers for doing what they do? No. I blame Kyle Tucker. The Mets are offering you 4 years, $220. The Blue Jays offer you 10 years, $350 million. It's very upsetting. And if you're not upset by this, you should fucking be. And if you're a Dodgers fan, good for you, man. You guys are going to fucking win back-to-back-to-back World Series. Congratulations. But don't act like it was hard-earned. And and the thing is, everybody's talking about competitive balances. That's for lockout. Not for nothing. The last time a team went back-to-back before the Dodgers was the Yankees in the 90s. Do I got to go over the teams that have won the World Series since 2000? Let's go over them. Let me look up every World Series winner of all time. And I'm going to go from 2000 and beyond. So after the Yankees won their third against the Mets. So 2000, the Yankees. 2001, the Diamondbacks. 2002, the Angels. 2003, the Marlins. The Sox in 04. The White Sox in 05. The Cardinals in 06. The Sox in 07. The Phillies in 08. The Yankees in 2009. The Giants in 2010. The Cardinals in 2011. The Giants in 2012. The Red Sox in 2013. The Giants again. The Royals. The Cubs broke over a 100-year drought. The Astros. The Red Sox. The Nationals. The Dodgers. In a COVID year that, sorry, I'm going to take away from it. It was a COVID year. I'm not counting it. The Braves. The Astros, the Rangers, the Dodgers, and the Dodgers is going to be the Dodgers again. There is competitive balance. Nobody gives a fuck about the Miami Marlins. By the way, both World Series titles that the Marlins won, immediately when the season was over, they dished majority of their good players away. And they wonder why people don't fucking pay for tickets. Because you just trade them all away. The Pirates, they have money. The guy's a fucking billionaire. There's a market out there in Pittsburgh. You got the Steelers selling out all the time, obvious reasons. The Penguins selling out before Crosby was even there. They have a market. They're cheap. The A's had to play money ball, and they had to go by OPS and on-base percentage to stay competitive because their owner was a cheap motherfucker. The Cleveland Indians, they're selling out the majority of the games, and they won't spend money. The Cincinnati Reds, the oldest ball club in baseball, they just offered Ellie De La Cruz, I think it was 10 years, $225 million. When you got Kyle fucking Tucker signing for $60 million. Ellie De La Cruz, a 5-tool player. You're spitting in his face. I don't feel bad. I feel bad for the fans of those teams. I do. These guys are fucking billionaires. Billionaires. They have money. They're cheap. They are cheap, cocksucking motherfuckers. San Diego's owner, rest his soul. He knew at one point he was going to lose money. He had the prospects and the talent. He went all in, bringing in Machado, bringing in Josh Hader, Yu Darvish, Blake Snell, etc. He went all in to try to get that city their championship. He lost money before he even died to the amount of about $450 million, but he did it for the fans. He should be celebrated. That's why I don't believe in the salary cap, folks. When you have teams who sell out games, the Dodgers, the Yankees, the Mets, the Red Sox, the Cubs, I think I said the Astros, the Rangers sell out games. The Angels, hell, they've sold out games. The Mariners sell out games. The Rockies sold out, I think, 30 or 40 times last year with their shitty roster, and their fucking ownership doesn't fucking spend a fucking nickel on them. Not a penny, not a nickel, not a dime, not a quarter. The Cardinals sell out games with how dog shit they are. Fans aren't buying tickets for a reason. But let me tell you, the salary cap is not a good idea. And the players are going to fight every last minute that they can to make sure there's no salary cap. And here's the problem that really sucks too, folks. Okay. When we miss a year of baseball, when we miss out on one full season baseball, because I think that's what's going to happen. You're missing a full season of baseball. Summer's going to suck, number one. Number two, all the historic great players that we have, Ohtani, Harper, Judge, Trout. I mean, you got to put Stan in there because he's going for 500 home runs. Machado, Freddie Freeman. All these guys are going to lose a full season of accolades. A full season of accolades. And it's already bad enough that most of them missed out because of COVID. Who knows what Albert Pujols would have done if we played 162 games in 2020. He would have passed Babe Ruth on the all-time home runs list. Kyle Tucker, what you have done is despicable. And when there is no baseball next season, we're not calling the MLB lockout. We're not calling it the owners lockout. We're not calling it the players lockout. The lockout that's going to happen in 2026, we will refer to as the Kyle Tucker lockout. And it'd be a real damn shame if something happened to you and you only played 50 games this year. Which, by the way, folks, this guy, let's load up Kyle Tucker's numbers. Let's just say Kyle Tucker had his career worst season last year with the Cubs to the point where they were thinking about benching him at some points during the season because he sucked so much cock. Kyle Tucker, a 266 average, 22 home runs, 73 RBIs, 25 stolen bases, and 841 OPS. He is making $60 million. He is playing right field. He is making more money than Aaron Judge and Juan Soto, and he comes nothing close to those two. He ain't even better than Acuna, and Acuna is a right fielder. If Roman Anthony's a right fielder, Roman Anthony has the trajectory to be better than Kyle Tucker. What a fucking waste. Unbelievable. Speaking of a waste, the Mets just basically wasted money after losing on him. Like, we got to do something so we don't piss off our fan base. A 3-year, $126 million contract for Bo Bichette to play third base. You are paying somebody $42 million to play out of position. 2 years ago, we were questioning if this guy was ever going to be an all-star again. Like, yeah, he had a great season last year. $42 million, dude? Are you fucking shitting me? No, seriously. Seriously. You're shitting me? Seriously. Seriously. The numbers were great last year for Bo Bichette. A 311 batting average, 18 home runs, 94 RBIs, an 840 OPS, and 139 games played. But $42 million? Like, I I'm so confused where the baseball market's going, because is it going to be 10, 12 years where you get $30 to $40 million, or are we reaching the point where now it's like 3 to 4 years with like $40+ million? I don't get it. And this whole Mets team, I mean, Mets fans are pissed. You know how many Mets fans I talked to that said they can give this guy $42 million to play third base in opposition, but they refuse to pay a homegrown talent in Pete Alonso? Can you blame them for not being pissed about that? I don't. So who's playing first base? So you're going to have Bo Bichette at third, Lindor at short, Marcus Semien at second. Is it going to be Vientos at first? Is it going to be Jorge Polanco at first? And again, it's only a matter of time until they fill that outfield void by bringing in Bellinger, because I know they're going to outbid the Yankees. We just know it's going to work. Because apparently the rumors were Bo Bichette had agreed to a 7-year, $200 million contract with Philadelphia, which we thought he was going to go once they brought in Don Mattingly as their bench coach over there, because they have such a close connection. And then you go from 7 years, $200 million to fucking $126 million for 3 years, which, by the way, folks, does anybody know how old Bo Bichette is? Anybody know? Maddie D, are you in the comments? Dad, are you in the comment? Dylan, are you in the comments? Do you guys know how old Bo Bichette is? Take a guess. Take a gander. How old is Bo Bichette? Waiting on an answer here from someone. How old is Bo Bichette? Take a guess. Don't Google it. Maddie D, 27. Maddie D, I'm going to basically say that you're right, but he's going to be 28 when the season starts. So he'll be 30 or 31 when he's a free agent entering his prime. He could get another contract like this if there's no salary cap, whatever happens after his lockout. Frank was going to say 30. All good guesses. All good guesses. All right. Cody Bellinger's still out there, folks. I'm going to go on Twitter here to see if there's any updates on Cody Bellinger sweepstakes. The last I saw, the Yankees are holding firm on their 5-year, $160 million deal. And they added a signing bonus and I believe player opt-outs. So, still no updates on Cody Bellinger. I think the teams that I saw that were in the race for Bellinger, along with the Yankees, are the Mets. The Dodgers have to be out now they just acquired Kyle Tucker. The Mets, the Yankees, and the Cubs. Well, here's what I'm going to tell you. I am so happy that the Yankees are saying no. This is our final offer. Because, not for nothing, Cody Bellinger is a great player. Cody Bellinger at one point was a superstar. Cody Bellinger had a major drop-off. Cody Bellinger could very well do that going into next year. By the 6th or 7th year of that contract, he could be done. By the 4th year of that contract, he'd be done. You don't want to hold on to it for another 3 years of him being mediocre. You don't. The most recent contract I always go back on, and I say, going back on that contract in 2021, 100 times out of 100, I'd still ink that pen to paper with DJ LeMahieu. We had multiple years of service from DJ LeMahieu for a guy that was supposed to be the backup utility guy off the bench. We have a record of him. Cody Bellinger, it's our first year last year, dude. And your playoff performance was not good. Yes, he's very he's the most super utility left-handed fielder. How the fuck am I supposed to put this here? In terms of people that throw lefty, he could play every position available outside of pitcher. He could play first in every position in the outfield. That is something remarkable. You don't see a lot of that with lefties nowadays. But that bat goes into question, man. You cannot ignore the drop-off that he had. And in case you guys forgot, after his MVP season with the Dodgers, I believe it was in 2019, where he had an 8.7 WAR, 47 home runs, 115 RBIs, 15 stolen bases, a 1.035 OPS. Guys, he hasn't had a 900 OPS since. In 2021, 95 games with the Dodgers, he had a negative 1.6 WAR. He batted 165. He had a 542 OPS. He struck out 94 times in 315 at-bats. Let me get a percentile here. I got my phone right here. I'll do a little calculator right here. So 315 at-bats divided by 90, what was it? 94, I said? 94. Maybe I did that wrong. 94 divided by 315. He was striking out 30% of his at-bats. And I can only imagine what it was like in the clutch moments. Can only imagine. Since he's gone to the Cubs, his numbers have increased. But there's a lot of questions. And the other thing I want to remind everybody is Yankees still have Jason Dominguez. Hate to tell you guys, if you want to quit him after 1 year, you go ahead and you quit on him. Go ahead. Be those typical Yankee fans where you just quit on prospects and they don't pan out the first year or second year. Go ahead. Be those assholes. Be those cocksuckers. I have full faith in Jason Dominguez. I would like to see a full year of Jason Dominguez where he is playing on a consistent basis and he's getting consistency instead of a game here, no game for 2 games, 3 games in a row, sit him for a game, 2 games, 2 games, sit him for 3 games, sit him for 4 games. Oh, he's hurt. Oh, let's get him. The fucking mind games they played that guy last year is fucking absurd for a guy that had a game where he had 3 home runs in a game and a game winner and had some clutch moments that weren't home runs for the Yankees. Give that guy a fucking shot. If Bellinger wants to walk, see you later. Adios. We'll wait and see. There are some other names out there that I don't have loaded up there. I know Framber Valdez is still out there. Let me see who else we got for MLB free agents before I get off this subject. Yeah, there's a good list, folks. You have Framber Valdez, Bellinger, Eugenio Suarez is still out there, Zach Gallen, Luis Ariz, Harrison Bader, Chris Bassett, Marcelo Zuna. That's just Giolito is also out there. I mean, there's a lot of people still out there for free agency, folks. So we'll see. But time's getting short with the World Baseball Classic coming up soon, with spring training just about a month away. Pitchers and catchers reporting in probably about a month's time, if not less from now. Time is money. So players are going to have to sign their deals or teams are to start biting the bullet. All right, I accidentally hit on NASCAR here, which definitely isn't what I was trying to talk about. The Daytona 500 is a couple weeks away, but let's get into our big UFC pay-per-view this weekend, UFC 324, Justin Gaethje versus Paddy the Baddy Pimblett. What a card. A great, great card. Unfortunately, though, we will be without watching Amanda Nunes versus Kayla Henderson, as Henderson had to drop out due to a neck injury. Unfortunate. So in the main card, we're going to have Arnold Allen versus Gene Silva. Gene Silva is a fucking psychopath. This guy is fucking insane. I love watching this dude fight. Oh, they don't have the odds on ESPN anymore? It's probably because they went to Paramount. They took the odds off. You cocksuckers. Yeah, I don't have the betting odds here, folks. God damn. I'm loading up DraftKings on my phone. I'm going to give you motherfuckers the betting odds for these fights. Dylan, you're going to be dabbling. You're going to be dabbling in these UFC fights this weekend, I assume. Right. Where the fuck is UFC on here? Do they not have the fucking odds right now? UFC. Okay, here we go. Point spread. Dill. They have point spreads now for gambling for UFC? They have point spreads? Paddy the Baddy's a -9.5? What does that even mean? So like 50-47, 50-47, 50-47, he would lose by half a point? What the fuck? That's weird. I haven't seen that before. That's fucking weird. So I guess Paddy's a minus. So what happens if they knock him out? Does he cover the spread? That doesn't make sense. That's weird. Paddy the Baddy comes in the favorite as a -230 against Justin Gaethje. What else we got in this card here? Yeah, that's what it probably is, though. That's what I'm thinking. We have Sean O'Malley versus Song Yadong. The favorite in that match is Sean O'Malley, but with his comments coming about how he feels like he's fallen off, that worries me a little bit. Song Yadong is no slouch. Song Yadong in his career is 22-8-1. Well, first of all, I'm going with Patty the Batty in the main event. In the co-main event, maybe Sean O'Malley is just trying to play mind games, but I'm going to go with Sean O'Malley. We have the Black Beast, Derek Lewis, my boy, the Black Beast. Fucking love that motherfucker. 29-12 in his heavyweight career, going against Waldo Cortez Acosta, who is 16-2. Acosta is a minus 325 favorite. But I don't give a fuck. I'm going my boy, the Black Beast. I'm going with Derek Lewis, baby. All it takes is one overhand punch and you're knocked out, bro. The women's match, maybe it's not a piss break like it was in her last or his most recent fight that I can remember with Rose Namajunas. Rose Namajunas will be taking on Natalia Silva. And Silva is a minus 410, and I'm going to go with Silva based off I saw Namajunas' last fight when she lost her belt. She looked like complete shit. Arnold Allen versus Gene Silva. Silva's a minus 278. I will go with him. In the prelims, we do have a good main event for the prelim. We have Umar Nurmagomedov versus Deiveson Figueiredo. Nurmagomedov is a minus 1,450 favorite, and rightfully so because he will take home the victory there. And I'm not going to go through the rest of these fucking prelims, but folks, we've been about a month out with UFC. It is going to be a hell of a show. Can't wait to see it. It's on Paramount Plus, no longer on ESPN Plus, so get Paramount. I don't know what the cost is now. You can only imagine what it is, but get it while you can. Enjoy it. Well, folks, what I did not do before I ended the show here was make my predictions for our Super Bowl. So interconference championship games at 3 o'clock. Denver will be hosting New England Patriots. I will be going my New England Patriots based on Jarrett Stidham being hurt. If Bo Nix was healthy, and I'm not even just saying this to say it now, like I firmly believe I probably would have took the Broncos to beat the Patriots. The high altitude plays a factor, man. It really does. But I will be going with the New England Patriots, taking out the Denver Broncos with Jarrett Stidham at the helm. The Rams going to Seattle, take on the Seahawks. Third matchup, winner take all. I don't know what the severity of Sam Darnold's oblique injury is. I don't know the severity of Matthew Stafford with his finger injuries. The Seahawks are without Zach Charbonnet, who is now have a torn ACL and is going to miss the rest of this year, and he's going to miss parts of next year. So this is a tough one. And it feels like it's Matthew Stafford's last shot. But if you're asking me who I'm taking between Matthew Stafford and Sam Darnold, I'm taking Stafford. We are going to have a Patriots-Rams third-time rematch. And it's third time the charm for the Rams. Can they finally take down the Patriots in the Super Bowl? We will find out in 2 weeks. Won't we, Dylan? You fucking piece of shit. Won't we, Bravo? You piece of fucking shit. All right. Not much with the NBA going on. Not much with hockey going on. The trade deadline for the NBA is February 5th. We are now 2 weeks away. 2 weeks away from the NBA trade deadline. We will see what teams make moves to try and improve their roster. We will see if teams like the Brooklyn Nets are going to move away from some assets to fully go on to this fucking losing spree for number one draft pick that when you have the higher odds, it feels like you're not even going to get the number one pick at this point. So what's the point? I don't fucking know. But we will see. Ladies and gentlemen, for those of you that stuck around, I appreciate you. Thank you for listening. We will be back live next Monday at 6 o'clock. But until then, motherfuckers, enjoy your long week of work. Conference championship matchup is coming up. UFC 324 is coming up on Saturday. National championship game tonight. Before I forget that, national championship game tonight, Indiana versus the U versus Miami. Guys, with how Indiana absolutely annihilated Alabama and Oregon, it is so hard to go against them. I know everybody talks about Miami's defense. That don't matter to me. I think Indiana is going to shock the nation winning the national championship this year. So I'll end it on that. Ladies and gentlemen, see you next Monday. Stay sexy, Sports Cave.